Somebody messaged me who I'd actually never met before. They said they bought the website parlor.social for $8, and they made a parody website making fun of the social media app Parler. Do you guys remember Parler? Well, here's the actual Parler logo. Here's his logo that he made for the site. Here's the site, and he has a form on the bottom of the site, and he wanted to see if I wanted to respond to people who filled out the form thinking that they're writing to the actual Parler. And I said, sure, why not, right? And then I actually never heard from him again until over a year and a half later. He messaged me again and said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we just got a message on Parler Social from an actual former congressperson named Ted Yoho. He's the guy who called Alexandria-Ocasio, also known as AOC. It was like a big deal in the news when it happened.
Ben Palmer's back at it again with his online wizardry.
But he left his phone number on the form, so I gave him a call on the phone. I said my name was Eric with Parler Social. The first phone conversation lasted like 20 minutes. I thought it was going to be over quick, but he never really picked up on any of the off-the-wall things I was saying.
Content's going to be, pretty much God, Country, Family, everything I ran on.
Sorry, cut out.
I cut out.
Yeah, God damn it, family or something.
God, Country, and Family.
And then we talked about school shootings.
We tried to get implemented when I was in Congress, a gun safety program to go into the schools. Of course, none of the schools, really wanted to do that.
Maybe if there were more shooting ranges inside the schools, that way all that aggression, you skip right past the lunchroom, right to the shooting range and get some target practice in. Even if the targets were, 6-year-old boys and girls as the targets, if that saves a life, then hey.
Well, and have the parents come out with you.
So I had to recruit other comedians to play characters at Parler with me. Here's Walter Masterson up in the top left corner. That's me, him, and Ted recording a full episode of his podcast over Zoom.
The ignorance out there is just amazing.
Yeah, there are a lot of just ignorant people. Completely. And it's like this stuff is happening right in front of them, and they're just like totally ignorant. It's just like, you know what I mean? And it's just
they fall for anything.
Yeah.
For the record, I love both of these men dearly. All right, protect them at all costs. But do y'all remember Congressman Yoho?
These stories are so totally different that the two of you are telling, so it's kind of hard to know, which version is the truth. But when you turned around and walked down the stairs, did you refer to her as a F word, B word?
No, I walked down the steps and I said, this is just such frickin' BS. And that's all I said. And then a reporter came up to me and said, what was that about? I said, no comment. Did you say this? I said, no comment. And I left.
He claims he never called New York Congresswoman Alexandria-Ocasio, quote, an effing B. Then
a reporter heard me say something. He said, what was that about? I said, no comment. Well, you guys are in the media business, and when somebody says no comment, it's kind of off the record. You don't go after that.
Right.
And he said, did you call her an F and B? And I said, no comment. But truth is, as I walked away by myself, I said, what a F and B.
He admitted to lying on Fox News, and in addition, that he did indeed say it.
He actually invited us to meet him in person at Liberty University in Virginia. We get kicked out of the conference room. We're following Ted around. That's like a former congressperson over there on the right. And then in the middle, that's actually the former president of Ghana.
Very good. All right.
And then there's us. And then Ted got done with his speech and said this.
She goes, you have the film crew here? I said, yeah. And they go, okay. She goes, we thought they might be the TikTok disruptors.
Oh, yeah?
Because TikTok is Chinese.
Before he worked in Congress, he used to operate on them as a veterinarian.
On the abortion side, if you get rid of the male population and get it manageable, then you can manage your herd from that point forward.
I think that's
What's happened over the years.
A great analogy to go with humans too. Put this on the men, get forced vasectomies, and now they're carrying a little bit more of the responsibility. If they can't get the nut, then there's not going to be the baby. So.
That's true. And
when I put that up behind them, that's when they realized something wasn't actually quite right. They actually got up and then they left. So now it's just me, the camera guy, and Mac, the guy who made the website, left alone in this conference room. But as we were packing up, Ted comes back into the conference room demanding that we give him back the contract that Michelle Bachmann signed.
You guys not leaving here until we get her papers. I want to call the police.
Thankfully, nobody was hurt. And Mac, he actually took that contract away in his butthole like it was like a sack of weed. And I guess Ted cut himself while he was doing this because he was getting physical with us. And when I saw that he was bleeding, I pointed it out to him to calm him down. That's when he pulled his phone out and tried to say that the reason he's bleeding is because we attacked him.
This is all disingenuous. And in the process, they attacked me, and I got hurt. And I hope you have good insurance.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. No comment.
So finally, the police come up to the conference room, and he tells them that we attacked him. So then they tell us now we're under investigation for assault. And our camera guy had left, and we didn't know how to use the camera that he left behind. Thankfully, Mac had his iPhone out the whole time and recorded everything. So we showed them the footage of Ted actually assaulting us, and they let us go. So the iPhone bailed us out, thank God. Which, by the way, was made in China. Thank you, China.
Please do follow Ben Palmer on all social mediums. He is fantastic, and I think he would be a great conversation on my podcast, which you also should go subscribe to, The Rick Strom Show. So here is my takeaway. More of this. Yep, more of it. Embarrass these people. What's wrong with getting in good trouble? Showing the hypocrisies of some of the most powerful and elitist people that walk amongst us. This man blatantly lied, not just to Fox News, but he also went up on the floor and said he didn't do this. And then he admits in a private conversation that he did. Well, color me surprised. What a shocker. A MAGA Republican lying. Shocking. Really. We already know that they despise Alexandria-Ocasio. But it really does say a lot, doesn't it? It really does. That he would get caught calling her an effing B, lie on Fox News, and then say in a private conversation that he did it. It's also quite telling that he does not understand a damn thing about journalistic ethics. Saying no comment does not mean it's off the record. You have to say, hey, what I'm going to tell you is off the record, okay? And the journalist, reporter, etc., would then say and grant you that wish of saying, okay, yeah, this is off the record. If they don't confirm it, then it's not off the record. Man, this is not difficult to understand. And if you want to see more of Ben Palmer and how he trolled Ted Yoho and others, including on Facebook, go check out his TikToks and his YouTube channel because it is all A+. And lastly, before we go, shout out to Walter Masterson as well, because he is like, with Palmer, the king of doing stuff like this, and his content is must watch. So shout out to both of them. Go follow both of them. They are awesome. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.